I go, oh my God, is this a parable about our country? A lot of films are, we like to go and watch heroes and heroines being challenged by extreme danger, and often the danger is violence perpetrated by fellow human beings. People get drawn to that, identifying with crisis, don't they?
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.
Ralph, congratulations for what you did with this character. It was truly amazing. We see that Dr. Kelson has this vinyl collection that helps him to get through, and it even gets inspired from the music. So in your case, what would be like those essential to get through that reality?
I definitely want some books that I could read again and not get bored. That might be some poetry. I think I would have to have the complete works of William Shakespeare. I think I could keep rereading all the works of Tolstoy. That would keep me going. And some music, I think I would just, if I could have access to all of Beethoven's work, I'd be able to survive.
Wow, that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that answer. And guys, this question is for both of you. More than a legacy to this particular genre, I think this film it feels like a legacy to cinema itself. So, what is it about this narrative that resonates with so many people out there?
Well, it's a very honest and original idea. You know, it's not a typical horror movie, like with typical, as you say, the Z word, the forbidden Z word. There is a very common theme, and it's quite predictable, and there is nothing predictable about a virus or an infection. It spreads and it grows and it kills. And I think that is a very powerful story. But I mean, we experience it, as you mentioned with the pandemic, we experience these things in our real life, so we can relate to it, which makes it ultimately more terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. What about you, Ralph? What do you think?
I think the skill of the first film, and it's been sustained in this, is if you're from the UK, as it were, the Danny Boyle's sense of place is very strong, and then the sense of the place that we think we know is then corrupted, eroded, decimated, and rotting because of this disease. I think people. I mean, I'm sure I keep seeing in it Danny Boyle and to some extent Nia in this is the landscape of England and is the background. And I don't know if that's the appeal for everyone, but it's certainly interesting for, as someone from here, I go, oh my God, is this a parable about our country? You know, we're full of, I mean, the last film with the islanders being very patriotic and exclusive, there seemed to be a little dig at the Brexit impetus that we've suffered here, the need to be special or apart, or we're not, you know. And I think this is a tribal thing anyway, generally over the world, you know. Tribes, nationalities, ethnicities will sort of clench together out of a fear. We do it out of fear. And I think people recognize the kind of, who are we as individuals when the tribe in which we operate is kind of imploding, or it's what's the word? It's drifting to opposite extremes. You know, I think people can sense in the world we live in, polarizing. When tribes polarize, people polarize. We see it in every country. You know. And the polarizing at its worst becomes civil war. In fact, Alex Garland wrote and directed a great film called Civil War, with the idea that there might be a civil war any minute now in America, which is I mean, one looking at the American landscape, you know, I mean, you know, with the way Trump is behaving, you could see a path to civil war if you wanted to be a real a doom mongerer. And where are individuals in that? Where are we? I mean, in a way, and that's in Alex's film Civil War. Individuals as photojournalists are the individuals in amongst the violence. And I think a lot of films are we like to go and watch heroes and heroines being challenged by extreme danger, and often the danger is violence perpetrated by fellow human beings. People get drawn to that, identifying with crisis, don't they?
Hi, Jack. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's actually kind of weird after watching the movie to see you right now without your blonde hair and your tiara, but you look great. Hey, I read a couple of theories that said that your character was inspired by a real person, like specifically Jimmy Savile, this controversial figure in England. So I was wondering, you as an actor, how do you channel all this madness and evil to your character?
I think just sort of follow the clues, whatever the writing's telling you, the world that you're in. And so in reference to that, the popular culture, finished when society went kaput within sort of 28 days later, being set in 2001. What was the zeitgeist of the time? And I think Jimmy is clearly a hangover from that, a very warped version of that because of the time that's passed. But his obsession with Teletubbies, for instance, these are all hangovers from his childhood when popular culture existed.
This might be a difficult question, but what do the Jimmys teach us? I think that deep down we should learn something from them.
Oh, well, it's definitely an exploration in pure darkness, evil, all things heinous, and I think the intellectual point would probably be unchecked power, really. But they're humanised, I feel like, and I think the way that all the actors involved portrayed their characters, there were human details come into the surface, and it was nuanced and complex.
Humans, ironically, seems to lack humanity, like you were mentioning the Jimmys. So while the infected ones are the ones who show awareness, so it is something we should be questioning?
Absolutely. I mean, the infected, are they're victims of the infection. I don't see that it's not a choice, So anything that is performed by the infected is kind of incidental. It's described as the rage, but I see more of an impulse, and this understanding that impulse, which is what Dr. Kelson discovers, that there is something that can be done to potentially save these infected and maybe the rest of humanity.
Hopefully the originality of it, I feel like. I think the original is such an iconic classic that there is still an appetite to see the story developed, and 28 years later. So it's great to see, and I hope it is received well, and I think it's promising then for cinema and original stories, yeah.
Con Gatica y Javier Ibarreche.